Here we are doing another one of our Tea Partier guides to Washington. We're on Hutchins Place, which is an upper middle class lily white street, although it's a street that has a mix of McMansions and teardowns. This is a cute little house. This McMansion-y type thing I think might belong to Tammy Haddad. One lives on this street belongs to Tammy Haddad. Tammy Haddad is a very famous producer. Here's a terribly cute little house, very sweet. She's a very famous TV producer who got Larry King syndicated and famous, and then got John McLaughlin syndicated and famous. Although, if you look her up in the news, you won't see all that. Somehow she's erased John McLaughlin, who she launched. She's had that erased from Wikipedia and the internet. The reason we're here is because this is where Hilary Rosen lives. And this is Hilary's house. It was rebuilt. It's been sold several times in the past 10 years. And each time it's been either fixed up or completely torn down. There's her little black Mercedes, whatchamacallit, station wagon that she shuttles her kids in. Anyway, and I'm not giving the exact address because she has kids, but I will say, because it's important to this tape, that we are at 48th and Hutchins Place Northwest. And the reason that's interesting is because there was a pretense at throwing Hillary under the bus this week because of what she said by the White House and the Democrats and Obama and Jay Carney, the White House press secretary. Among other things, Jay Carney claimed that he didn't know who the Hilary Rosen was, who was visiting the White House 35 times in the past couple of years, that he personally knew 3 different Hilary Rosens. And this Hilary Rosen spells her name with 1 L, so I wonder if he actually knows, and if 3 different Hilary Rosens have signed in who all spell their names with 1 L, like Hilary Rosen, instead of 2 L's, as I believe Hillary Clinton does. I kind of doubt it. Anyway, one of the interesting things about Jay Carney disowning Hilary Rosen is that he lives at 48th and W. By MapQuest, Jay Carney lives in essentially the same zip code. They're not technically the same neighborhood. They're on different sides of this street up ahead, MacArthur Boulevard. But they live in the same lily-white upper middle class DC neighborhood. And there are many points of interest there. One is, if you Google Jay Carney's wife's name together with Hilary Rosen's name, Jay Carney's wife is Claire Shipman of ABC, you will find on the internet, in various social rags like Washington Life, that Claire Shipman and Hilary Rosen go to the same events almost every other month in Washington, D.C. Events that only have about 50 kind of ruling class flacks and journalists at them, including Claire Shipman, Jay Carney's wife, went to Hilary's 50th birthday party at Tammy Haddad's house on the street we just saw. And Hilary Rosen went to a book party a year later for Claire Shipman, when Claire Shipman and Katty Kay, or whatever her name is, co-authored a book on womenomics, women and their career. And there are also lots of state dinners and brunches at Tammy Haddad's house. The internet is just littered with social listings, gossip columns, what the elite are doing when they meet to greet and eat, in which there are small events that are like 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 people. And 2 of the guests are Hilary Rosen and Claire Shipman. Jay Carney's name isn't often mentioned. Another thing that's fun and interesting about Jay Carney and Hilary Rosen is that, except for Hilary Rosen, all these people seem to be a journalist who lives with some kind of powerful government bureaucrat regulator type. This is MacArthur Boulevard we're on now, which has 1 drugstore, 1 grocery store, 1 wine store, and 1 pizza parlor. So Jay Rosen, who doesn't know which Hilary Rosen is, Jay Carney rather, who doesn't know which Hilary Rosen is visiting the White House, lives about 9 blocks away from her in a lily-white, small-towny neighborhood on the western edge of D.C. He's actually in Berkeley. This is called Palisades. I think she's actually technically in Palisades, where there's 1 wine store, 1 grocery store, 1 drugstore, 1 pizza parlor, and his wife goes to parties that she's at every other month. But he doesn't know which one is visiting the White House. Anyway, we're going to continue to walk through their upper middle class white neighborhood, because one of the purposes of this tape is to see, while I give a little commentary, if it's actually possible to walk without walking even fast from Hilary Rosen's house to Jay Carney's house in under 10 minutes. We are at 5.5 minutes right now. Obviously, we took a little time talking about Hilary and her neighbors in front of her house. But I can tell you that we are only about 4 blocks away from Jay's house, because I know where it is. And so we may make it. We basically have to make 4 blocks in less than 3 minutes. So we may just barely make it to his house. At any rate, besides the fact that his wife and Hilary Rosen are constantly at events together, including birthday parties and book parties for their birthdays and their books. Besides that fact, they also live in the same neighborhood. And back to its lily-white upper middle classness, where the only people of color you're going to see are people who are being hired, like the man who just walked by with a dolly. That's not, of course, actually true. It's a city that's 55% African American, so 4 or 5% of the people who live in this neighborhood are not white. But it's definitely demonstrated preference, residential racism, that all of the progressives and liberals who scream at Tea Partiers and others and say that if you want to reduce the size of government or taxes or spending, you are a racist. All of them. David Gregory, Andrew Mitchell, Chris Matthews, Jay Carney, Hilary Rosen, they all choose to live in lily-white upper middle class neighborhoods where there are no black people. Or if there is a black person, it's either somebody's nanny, and those are usually Filipino or Guatemalan, or it's an ambassador from a all-black country. Anyway, we have less than 3 minutes to go. I don't know that we're going to make it. We are now about 2.5 blocks from Jay Carney's house. Well, there's also only one public library. I don't know if we got in the tape. We just walked past it in this neighborhood. So Claire Shipman and Hilary Rosen, besides constantly going to book parties and birthday parties together, also live in the neighborhood, and they both have a couple of kids, where there's one drugstore, one grocery store. I've seen Claire Shipman shopping, actually, when I was shopping there at that grocery store. One public library, one pizza place that all the kids go to after school, and one wine store, and one photo developing store, sort of one of everything. Anyway, this corner is 48th and W, and actually, well, it looks like you can make it on foot from Hilary's house to Jay Carney's house, not in less than 10 minutes, but in less than 9 minutes, because as soon as we turn this corner, he's only halfway down the block. And we even started out down at the end of her block, not right in front of her house, at Hilary Rosen's house. And we are only at 8 minutes and 40 seconds. So, this is Jay Carney and Claire Shipman's street. And I think actually they aren't in this block. They are just right past the stop sign. We're in the 4800 block of W Street. And they are in the 4800 block of W Street. However, this little street here, King Street, cuts the 4800 block into 2 blocks. So, it's the 4800 block of W Street is essentially 2 blocks long. There's a car with black tinted windows. Anyway, we have 20 seconds left. I kind of don't want to run. Oh, this is it. Sorry, I almost passed it. This is Jay Carney's house. He has a Halloween decoration left up. So,